Long ago, in the quiet village of Omaliko, where the sun painted the earth golden and the drum spoke at dusk, a woman named Amaka lived alone in sorrow. Her eyes, once bright as the morning dew, had dimmed with pain and memories too heavy to tell. The villagers often whispered that her heart had been broken by misfortune, but no one truly knew the storm that lived inside her. When Amaka discovered she was carrying a child, she did not rejoice. Instead, she wept beneath the baobab tree, cursing the wind that carried her shame. To her, the unborn child was not a blessing but a reminder. A seed of pain growing inside her womb. Yet life moves as destiny commands, and when the moon grew full, she brought forth a daughter, a beautiful girl with eyes like calm rivers. Amaka named her Nena, meaning father's gift. But each time she spoke that name, bitterness tightened her chest. She could not see the gift, she saw only the ghost of her own suffering. As seasons passed, Nena grew into a curious and gentle child. She chased butterflies in the fields, sang to the goats, and danced when the rain fell. Her laughter was music to every ear except her mother's. Amaka's heart, wounded by the past, had forgotten how to love. When Nena ran to her with open arms, she turned away. When the child cried in the night, she offered silence instead of comfort. The villagers pitied the little girl, but they said nothing. In those days, it was believed that a mother's pain was sacred, not to be questioned. Still, Nena learned early that kindness could grow even in hard soil. She began to help the old and feed the hungry, seeking in others the affection she could not find at home. And though she did not know it yet, her spirit pure and golden was being shaped by the very pain meant to destroy her. Years drifted by like dry leaves on the harmattan wind, and Nena grew into a graceful young girl. Her laughter could chase away gloom, and her kindness made even the oldest women smile. But her mother, Amaka, still carried her pain like a pot balanced on her head, heavy, unshakable, and always near. One market day, a man named Obinna arrived in Omaliko. He was a trader from a neighboring village, tall and smooth-tongued, with the kind of smile that could hide a serpent's fangs. He began to visit Amaka often, bringing her gifts of yam and fine cloth. The villagers rejoiced when they heard he had asked for her hand. At last, they said, Amaka will know happiness again. When the wedding feast came, drums echoed through the night, and dancers filled the square. But Nena, sitting quietly under a mango tree, felt a strange chill. She did not understand it, but her heart whispered a warning she could not explain. Life in their new home began gently enough. Obinna spoke kindly to Amaka and even called Nena my daughter in the early days. But as time moved like the slow crawl of a snail, the sweetness turned bitter. Obinna showed two faces, one for the village and one for home. And though the village still praised Amaka's good fortune, no one heard the cry swallowed by the night wind within their compound walls. The moon rose pale over Omaliko village, its light falling softly on the thatched roofs and quiet paths. In Amaka's compound, the shadows were longer than usual, and silence hung in the air like a curse. Nena had grown into a young woman, her beauty gentle and pure, like the first light of dawn touching a river. But beauty can be both a gift and a burden. Her stepfather, Obinna, whose heart had long been poisoned by greed and lust, began to look upon her with unholy eyes. At first, it was words, cruel, mocking words that wounded her spirit. Then, his cruelty grew heavier, darker. He found excuses to keep her near, sending her mother to the market or away on errands. And when Amaka returned, she found her daughter withdrawn, her eyes clouded with pain she could not speak. But Amaka's heart had hardened like baked clay. Whenever Nena tried to speak, she silenced her. You think you are wiser than me? Respect your father, she would say sharply, turning her gaze away. One night, the wind howled through the trees, and the fire in the hearth burned low. That was the night Nena's world shattered. She cried out in the darkness, but no one heard, not even her mother. The stars seemed to turn their faces from her sorrow. In the days that followed, Nena moved like a spirit among the living, quiet, fragile, yet strangely calm. When the truth of her suffering could no longer hide, her mother did not offer comfort. Instead, anger and shame filled Amaka's voice. She accused Nena of bringing disgrace upon their home. "You have ruined me," she shouted. "You are cursed." The villagers whispered, but no one dared question a mother's anger. They watched as Amaka drove her daughter from the compound, her belongings tied in a small cloth bundle, tears tracing lines down her dust-covered face. Nena walked into the wilderness alone, barefoot, heartbroken, yet somewhere deep within her, a faint whisper stirred. The road of sorrow may be long, but it leads to the place where destiny waits. Nena walked for days beneath the burning sun and the cold whisper of the night wind. Her feet bled from the stones on the path, and her stomach ached with hunger. Yet she did not turn back. She could still hear her mother's voice, not calling her name, but cursing it, and she knew there was nothing left for her at Omeliko. In the quiet hours of dawn, she came upon a lonely stream. The water sparkled like tiny stars, and there she knelt, weeping as she washed the dust from her face. "Oh Chi, if you can hear me," she whispered to the sky, "why was I born into sorrow? What sin did I commit before my first breath?" The wind stirred, and for a moment, she thought she heard a voice gentle and low. "Even the seed that falls on hard ground will grow, if it does not give up." Strengthened by the whisper of the unseen, Nena continued walking until she reached a new village called Idora. The people there were kind but cautious. They saw the sadness in her eyes and asked no questions. A widow took her in, giving her a mat to sleep on and a little food. Nena began to help in the markets, grinding millet and fetching water. She worked quietly, never complaining, and soon, everyone knew her as the girl with the golden heart. But destiny was not finished with her yet. One afternoon, as she carried water from the stream, she met a young man strong, with kind eyes and the air of one used to respect. He smiled and greeted her warmly. "My name is Prince Ikeen," he said. "I am traveling among my people to learn their ways." Nena bowed humbly. "I am only a servant, my prince." But Ikeen saw something rare in her, a light born not from riches, but from suffering and strength. From that day, he returned often to the stream, speaking with her, learning her story little by little. What began as friendship began to grow, quiet, tender, and true. And though Nena did not yet know it, her journey from pain to purpose was nearing its dawn. Seasons passed, and Idora village blossomed under the gentle hand of destiny. Nena's life began to glow like the sunrise after a long night. Her days were filled with peace, her nights with dreams that no longer carried fear. Prince Ikeen, now heir to his father's throne, saw in Nena not just beauty, but wisdom, the kind that grows from pain and survival. He watched her speak softly to children in the market, comfort widows, and share food with strangers. One evening, as they walked along the riverbank where they first met, he took her hand and said, "Nena, the world may know me as a prince, but my heart knows you as my queen. You carry a light that not even sorrow could dim. Will you share that light with me forever?" Nena's eyes filled with tears. Her heart, once broken, now beats with quiet joy. She bowed her head and whispered, "Yes, my prince. But promise me, let this love heal others, not just us." And so, their wedding was celebrated across the kingdom. Drums thundered through the night. Women sang songs of triumph, children danced barefoot in the dust, and the elders spoke of fate, how the river of suffering had led this girl to the sea of grace. But fate still had one last twist. One day, a frail old woman appeared at the palace gates, begging for food. Her clothes were torn, and her eyes hollow with regret. When Nena saw her, her heart stopped. It was Amaka, her mother. Amaka fell to her knees, weeping. "My child, if the gods were kind, they would let me die at your feet. I wronged you. I cursed you when you needed love. I have no right to ask for forgiveness. The court fell silent. But Nana, the girl who had once walked barefoot through thorns, stepped forward. She lifted her mother gently, tears glistening on her cheeks. "Mama," she said softly, "life taught me that pain can turn even a heart of clay into gold. You are still my mother. Come home." And with that, she embraced Amaka, her love washing away years of hurt. From that day on, Nana ruled beside Prince Akin, wise, humble, and kind. Her story spread through villages far and wide, carried by storytellers, mothers, and children gathered around the fireside. They called her the girl with the golden heart. For even after the storm, she chose love over bitterness, peace over revenge, and forgiveness over pride. No pain lasts forever. What matters is what we become after the pain. A heart that forgives shines brighter than gold.